Akichi is full of ish, and Camille literally confirmed everything that I've been saying. We got some things to get into. Hey y'all, it's Chloe and we're back with another video. Married at First Sight, the After Party, Season 18, Episode 8. But before we do, I need a favor. If this is your first time here, sit back, relax, watch the video through. And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have been here before and you keep coming back and you have not subscribed, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and do that. Okay, just go ahead and do that. If you're one of my lovely members or subscribers, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. Let's just go ahead and get into this review. So we have Keisha, of course, Carla, David, and Stasia. Y'all remember Stasia? What season was she from? I can't remember, but she was married to Nate, okay? It was nice seeing her, so of course we had to catch up a little bit. And Keisha asked her what she thought about this season and these couples. She said that this season is really good and she's invested. And I would agree. I do feel like this season is good. I'm not dreading watching it. I'm not dreading reviewing it, because y'all know when I be like, oh, for something, I be ready to just like, stop reviewing. So I definitely agree with her on that. We find out that Stasia is dating, okay? But she does side-eye the guys that know she was on Married at First Sight. So we start with the first clip of the night, and that's a clip of Juan cleaning the house and Carla saging, cleaning the energy of the house. Keisha said, so is it fair to say that you and Juan have different perspectives of cleaning? She said, listen, he's the one that blows up the bathroom, so he's the one that needs to clean it. She likes to keep the energy clean, and he likes to do the actual cleaning, so she leaves that up to him. And the crazy thing about all of that is that Juan really think that's how he care about Carla. Like, I don't know why that sticks in my brain when he said, I care about her through cooking and cleaning. Him cleaning really feels like, oh, I'm showing her I care. I just don't get it. I really just don't get it. But I do agree with Stasia. Juan and Carla really do look good together. I know a lot of you guys are bringing to my attention that y'all think that Juan doesn't like Carla because he's used to dating white women. I don't know how true that is. I mean, it could be some truth to it, but they really do just look good together. After we got finished watching the shower scene with Stasia and Nate and how sensual and sexual it was, we know that that's not happening between Carla and Juan. But Carla did say that she appreciates the fact that her and Juan can have a good time cleaning. They laugh together, they play together. It's like a really good friendship. And she never had that in her past relationships because it was always like sex that kept them bonded. Now, while I agree that you need to be able to have fun and everything like that, I do feel like y'all need to be having some sex. Not necessarily them, but that's what makes a relationship not platonic. So as long as them two continue to just have fun and play together and there's no type of intimacy whatsoever, the relationship is not going to work. You could have all the fun in the world, but if there's no type of intimacy, no type of affection, none of the things, it's just not going to last. So then we watched the clip of David and Michelle talking, how David was telling her he left her a note and he would appreciate if she just, sent him a text message or communicated back. Keisha told David that she really appreciates that he's still trying, even though we know Michelle is giving him nothing. She wants to know how's the communication going, and David said there is no communication. What is this communication you speak of? So Keisha said, I really see that you are trying to keep it together because you've been doing a really good job, but how are you really feeling inside? And David said that he is struggling. He's trying not to get to a point where he just snaps, but he needs something, anything. Conversation, banter, playtime, quiet time with her, something from her. And she's giving absolutely nothing. Carla said, I would have been stopped talking to her. I said, I know that's right, Carla. She said, like, what does she want? Y'all, she wants y'all to be in there doing sign language to each other. Like, you've tried all avenues and it's not reaching her. So Keisha said, Carla, is she like that with y'all? Carla said, no, we have fun. We talk, we play. She's very present. So when she describes their relationship, she just said there's like no connection and no chemistry. But she didn't tell us that she was doing all of this. This is a whole different side of Michelle that the girls are seeing. That's because Michelle actually likes y'all and she doesn't like David. It's just plain and simple. And I'm starting to think that it has nothing to do with the basement or anything. It's just given at this point, she just don't like this man. Yes, he may have turned her off by some things, but the fact that it's hard for her to just have a regular, basic conversation with him just screams, I just don't like you. Because you don't have to be romantically involved with someone to just, talk to them. Stasia is like, I'm trying to figure out why she even signed up for the show. Keisha was like, listen, maybe once she watches this back, she'll realize how she showed up and then decide to make some changes. Stacia said no, she know what she doing. She know exactly what she doing. Keisha said, listen, I'm just trying to find a silver lining. I don't know why y'all want to coddle Michelle and give her this sympathy play. Girl just don't like the man. She signed up to marry a stranger and she's not willing to give him a chance. It may have something to do with the apartment. It may have something to do with the cigarettes. It may have something to do with the tattoo. But I just feel like, girl, this is a risk that you take when coming on Married at First Sight. The only problem that I have with her is just be a decent human being. You don't have to fall in love with that man, sleep in the bed with that man, but treat him like a person. That's it. That's all. So Keisha asked David, what's keeping you going? He said, I came in here looking for my ride or die. I had 2 past relationships and they didn't work out. So at this point, I have nothing to lose. Damn. That kind of sounds sad. That kind of low-key sound a little desperate too, not gonna lie. So at this point, he feels like he's gonna exhaust all options until there's none left. Keisha tells him that, she's giving him props for staying in this, and she hopes that there is a breakthrough because there is a reason that they were matched. So then we watched a clip of Carla's friend asking Juan questions at the housewarming. After that clip, Keisha was like, what are you telling your friend that she felt like she needed to come ask these questions? Carla said, well, y'all know that she was at the wedding, right? And at the wedding, the chemistry was there, the connection was there. So she figured like this would continue. But as we were talking and I was telling her like all that has started to fade, she's trying to figure out why. She told us that Juan told her on a honeymoon that he's not a traditional husband. Keisha said, how would he know that? He's not a husband. The way I cracked up was hilarious because it's like, you've never been a husband to know you're not a traditional husband. Carla was like, well, maybe he's not a traditional partner. She said that he's not the normal type where he'll be calling and checking up on her and giving her compliments. Now I'm sitting here looking at you side-eye, Juan, because I'm just trying to figure out what's the point. Are you trying to basically tell Carla that you're really not attracted to her without telling her? Because what do you mean you don't give compliments? That don't even make sense to me. And that just sealed it for me. He's not attracted to her. Maybe y'all was right. Maybe he do want a white woman. Who knows? Carla said in this relationship, she feels like she's the tag along. Because regardless if that's what she want to do or not, he's still going to do it. I told y'all in the beginning of the season when his friends and family was telling him that he's going to have to learn to compromise and that it's not going to be all about him. And here he is repeating the same pattern. Remember I was saying, I don't think Juan's going to be able to change? It's showing up now. The fact that Carla feels like she has to be a tag along in her own marriage is crazy. She says she's challenging herself to not do that anymore because she's been in relationships where she's given 100% of herself and always changed her plans and did everything to fit with that person. I applaud Carla for recognizing that and trying to challenge herself to do better. But this is when I say to myself, you should have made sure that you re-signed your own lease. Because once again, it sounds like you was willing to give up 100% of yourself to start something new with someone you don't even know. The last boyfriend you lived with wouldn't let you bring your things there. And now it's like you're in a repeated cycle and you're still doing nothing different. I can understand that you thought you was going to find for your forever. That's cool and all, but you always have to have some type of backup plan. And I don't think coming on Married at First Sight, living out of a storage was a good idea. Because the history of Married at First Sight shows that there's more divorces than people who stay together. So you definitely should have been looking out for yourself. So Keisha asked her, what does she need from Juan? She said, it could just be anything, something as little as going for a walk. That's sad. When the littlest thing that you want from your partners is to just go for a walk. Stacia said, how about, you initiate it. Plan a date and y'all go out. And when you out, let him know, like, these are the things that I want to do together. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen because Juan already made it very clear that he doesn't really want to go out with her. He doesn't really want to go places because he's so focused on his business and all his money got to go into that. Which is why I'm still trying to figure out why he came up here to get married at first sight when he has no time and he doesn't plan on making time for his wife. So Keisha asked him, was there anything, fun happening after the housewarmings? Come to find out that, Juan and Carla housewarming was lit, okay? All the couples stopped by to come see them. David, Alan, everybody was having fun, so much so that security was called twice. Not once, but twice. And they got kicked out to the point where they had to go outside and bar hop around the city because they couldn't stay at their place. And not only that, Juan's 2 friends ended up staying the night. I said, oh, they had a ball last night. They had a ball last night. I'm glad that Juan and Carla and their friends and everybody can have fun, but they really need to focus on themselves as a couple because they are really losing the plot at this point. So then we watched a clip of David's friend telling Michelle, you rent, he rent, y'all doing the same thing. And when David saw that, he said, dang, I didn't know he gave it to her like that. He laid it down. I said he sure did. He definitely sure did. Keisha said that she feels like this was the first time that Michelle had to think about it from a different perspective. And I'm like, I feel like everybody's been telling her the same thing over and over and over again. But if this was the time that it really got to her, I'll take it. I will take it. But Keisha was like, but you don't get a pass because that apartment, you could have had it cleaned up. You could have got that apartment. You could have got that basement cleaned up. They been talking about some, I did own a bar, so a lot of that stuff is antiques. David, do we look stupid? Talking about something, if you see something in there that looks really old and ancient, most likely it's worth thousands of dollars. Keisha said, you sure you're not hoarding? I said, exactly. Because what do you mean? All the things down there is vintage and it's worth thousands of dollars. David, stop lying. Stop lying. Because you're not doing a good job at it. I highly doubt that the things in that basement is vintage and worth thousands of dollars. And that still doesn't explain why you didn't clean up. And that still doesn't explain why your bed looked like that, why your room looked like that. It still doesn't explain why it feels like you take no pride in the place where you lay your head. He said that, you know, I'm never there. Cool, right? But you also said that you play darts 3 to 4 hours. So which one is it? Which one is it? This whole cast just be lying. They be going back and forth with the lies. At this point, I don't know who to believe. So Keisha asked David, what did his friends think of Michelle? He said they're disappointed. I'm disappointed too. I'm disappointed too. So then we watched a clip of David making dinner for Michelle and everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's finally starting to come around. Could this be the breakthrough that we needed? Did she take what your friend said into consideration? And David said maybe she did. But he said at this point, they're doing a lot better and that they're talking and communicating. So maybe there is hope. Let me say this. If Michelle completely turns around and start being all about David, and David is the one out here cheating, I don't know if I'm going to understand or if I'm going to be mad, okay? Y'all let me know. If Michelle starts to come around and really start to like David and understand everything about him, right? If he's the one who starts cheating, are you going to be understanding why? Or are you going to be mad? Let me know what you think. Which leads me right into the fact that Keisha said, we noticed that, you know, Michelle's eyebrow raised and our eyebrows raised when you said that you was working out at the gym with Madison 3 to 4 times a week. How does Michelle feel about that? David was like, I mean, she never said anything. If it was a problem, then all she had to do was say it. And, you know, I could change some things. But they've been working out together ever since the honeymoon. I'm sure they've been putting in a lot of work. So now Camille and Akeche join Keisha and Stasia. And this is where I started to get agitated. Okay, immediately I started to get agitated because for one, Akeche's attitude is disgusting. It's like he already was being defensive. Keisha asked Stasia, you know, how she felt about these two relationships. And Stasia was like, she found Akeche very interesting. And she had some questions that she wanted to ask him. And he was like, you will have time. You will have time. Yeah, because you know you showed your complete behind last episode. And you know that these women is about to give it to you. Because you are sitting next to 3 black women as a black man. This was a setup. I'm not going to lie. This was a setup. Because they definitely could have put Camille in the first half. But no, baby, we needed her. We needed her in this half. So, of course, we watched a clip of Akeche and MM going back and forth about these daggone tacos. And so Keisha was like, what is this about? Like, is this foreplay or are y'all arguing? Because I'm confused. He said that, you know, he really wasn't supposed to be there. He came in and was like, oh, you need help with anything. And she had already taken care of everything. So I guess it was just a misunderstanding. No, you came in there picking on her once you realized that she didn't need you for the process. If you were supposed to be out working and taking care of business, and then you come in there like, oh, I could have made the tacos. No, you couldn't have made the tacos because you wasn't even supposed to be here. You're just envious and mad. And I'm going to tell you why. You're upset at the fact that she catered it. You would have been satisfied if she would have been in that kitchen slaving and working hard. But she has the luxury of not having to. And because of that, you wanted to bring up the fact that you could have made the tacos. If you could have made the tacos, you would have made the tacos. You didn't even communicate about the whole thing until it was time to have that discussion. So miss me with the BS, Akeche, miss me with it. Keisha asked Stacia how she felt about the situation, and Stacia said that she feels like he was being passive aggressive. She feels like the back and forth was unnecessary. It was unnecessary. And he wouldn't even say anything if she would have been in that kitchen slaving. But because she was just putting up some cute little decorations and going on about her life, that bothered his spirit. So Keisha asked Akeche, was it something in that moment that he may have noticed about himself now that he didn't know in the moment? He said that he's a doer. He's a doer. He doesn't do a lot of talking. And you can just tell in most of all his scenes that he has a lot of nervous energy. So when you become nervous, you become passive aggressive. If you're such a doer, then you should have made them damn tacos instead of sitting there trying to go back and forth about it being passive aggressive. So then we watched a clip of Thomas talking to Camille friends about their cultural differences. Keisha said that she feels like Thomas has always been the blackest person in the room, but he doesn't really know much about black culture because black culture is more than just being black. Now, I could agree, right? We have our own language. We have our own slang. We have our own music. We have the cookout. You know, black culture is definitely a thing. But I don't feel like that's actually the root of Camille's issue, okay? We're going to get to the root of Camille's issue in a few, because she says it exactly, and I'm going to quote it verbatimly. But we got to get through this scene. Camille says she can't really put into words. She just feels like there's a disconnect. So Stacia says, you know, it seems like Thomas is like 80-20. He's 80% a good guy, and it's just that 20% that, you know, Camille cannot connect to. And that maybe, you know, if she talks to him about it and they work through it and he's willing to learn, then I guess he'll become culturally black enough for them. I even hate talking about it. I absolutely hate talking about it. But I'm not going to get into all the things that I really want to say. I'm going to wait till we get to the last scene with Thomas and Camille. So then we watched a clip of Akeche's an housewoman when he called her aggressive. Now, you already know that all the women were in their feels, okay? So Keisha told Akeche that she doesn't think he understands how that word is used and how powerful it is against black women. Akeche said that all black women aren't aggressive, but can be overwhelming sometimes. So then, sir, why do you use the word overwhelming? Huh? Why didn't you use the word overwhelming? There's so many other words you could have used, but you chose aggressive. So Keisha's like, I need to know what is going on behind the scenes that made you say that she's aggressive. He said that he felt like that scene was manipulated and that they were in the bed earlier that week and all the things that they were asking him came up in conversation. He felt as though she sent them in there to ask him those questions. He said that his goal in this relationship was to make her feel comfortable and safe, and at that moment, he didn't feel that way. Now, I need to rewind this back to the scene that we watched, right? All they did was ask him to describe her in 5 words. How in the world was that a manipulated scene? Unless we got the scene out of context and it was all over the place, the questions were, describe MM in 5 words. And you said aggressive because you felt like she told them to come say that? Go away from me with this, Akeche, because you sound crazy as hell. So because he feels like in that moment she was being aggressive because they were asking questions that they had already, I guess, discussed, that's why he said she was being aggressive in that moment. Now, Stacia she said that you're laid back and you said that she asked a lot of questions, correct? So maybe she doesn't feel safe asking questions because then she's going to be perceived as aggressive, which is why she probably asked her friends and family to ask those questions. You didn't create a safe space. I'm like, come on, Stacia. Because like, what do you mean her asking questions is aggressive? He just doesn't like to be questioned. He know that they see through his BS, because I promise you, naming 5 things about someone is not going to be perceived as aggressive. You were intimidated and you were insecure. You came in on the defense. He says, I get that, but I be wanting to have fun. And she be wanting to ask questions. So Sachi was like, but there's only a little bit of time that you guys have to get to know each other. How is she supposed to make a decision if she doesn't ask any questions? And that's my thing with a Keche. He just be talking just to talk. Talking just to talk, because there's no way someone asking you questions is going to be aggressive if they ask you questions that you don't want to answer. Meaning she's really trying to get to know you and you could care less. And because of that, you feel like it's being aggressive. Get away from me. Keisha asked him if he could do it all over again. What words would he have used? He said assertive or intentional. Get the F out of here. Get the F out of here. You're lying, because you said that the scene was manipulated and you felt that in that moment she was being aggressive. Go away. I don't believe that you would have used assertive or intentional, because that's not how you felt. You stated how you felt very, very clearly, with no remorse and no regret. And I don't even remember if he actually apologized for calling her aggressive. Let's move on, because I got to get into Camille. After we watched the clip of Camille Thomas talking to her sister, Camille confirmed exactly what I've been saying this whole entire time. Let me read this from my phone, because I want to make sure I don't screw up her words. She said she came into this process prepared to gather somebody if they was going to be an asshole. She was prepared for someone super emotionally unintelligent, or she felt like she was just going to have to tell somebody about themselves. She wasn't ready for the super nice guy. So when y'all sit there and say, oh, it's cultural difference, bullish. She thought she was going to come in here and get her a black man that's urban and thuggish and gangster, and she was going to have to gather him and put him in his place because he's unemotionally intelligent, because that's the man she's used to dealing with. So when she sits there and she say, oh, it's cultural difference, that is not what she means at all. And that is disheartening. That is how she perceived all black men in the world. For her to say, and then I got a good guy. Camille is problematic as hell. So when I said a couple of episodes ago that she perceived black men as thugs and gangsters, that's why. That's why. I know I wasn't wrong. This had nothing to do with, being in cultural spaces and racist restaurants, had nothing to do with any of that. She thought he was going to be emotionally unintelligent. She thought he was going to be an asshole. At this point, I'm done with Camille and Akechi. Get them both off my screen. So then we watched a clip of Akechi talking about his marriage to the guys doing flag football, right? He said to him, it just feels like MM is like, oh, I got my man, and that's all that matters, right? But then he turned around and said, and I want to talk, and I want to really get to know her, and I want to ask questions. Excuse me, sir? Did you not just say that you just want to have fun and she want to ask questions? Make up your mind. I'm so glad Keisha called him out on it. He said it's not the fact that she's asking questions, it's the line of questions that she's asking. It's like surface. So Keisha's like, I need an example. I need an example of what you're talking about, because none of this is making sense, because you're contradicting yourself over and over and over. And I'm like, because he's a liar and he's just lying and he's just saying anything, and he's used to being able to talk his way out of stuff and into things, okay? He's talking about something. It'd be like, we're just out having fun, and then something will happen and she'll just switch it and start asking deep, serious questions. And we're like, what? Giving this example. That's not a good enough example. He's like, it's not? No, it's not. You sound stupid. You sound crazy. I feel like we didn't resolve that situation at all. He got away without fully answering the question because he sat there and lied and lied and lied. First it was she's asking too many questions. Then it's like, I want to ask questions and she doesn't want to because she got her man. Then it's like the questions that she do ask are surface. But then you said that she was asking you questions that you felt was being aggressive. So make up your mind, because surface questions cannot cause, because those surface questions would not have caused you to call her aggressive. You just don't want to go deep because you don't care for her. You don't want to be in this marriage. You're just here to promote your book and whatever else you got going on. And I already told you that it's not working, because the way you showing up is not going to make anybody want to buy your book of love letters to your wife that she has still not gotten. Between Ikichi and Camille, Camille, I'm sorry I had to do it to you, sis, but I'm putting you on a list. You have officially been added to the list. Anyway, y'all, that was the after party. Y'all know I told y'all I'll be reviewing it, and I'm still here reviewing it. Okay, quick question. Love after lockup, are y'all watching or not? Because I think I want to review it. Let me know down below. Oh, by the way, my tree is on the side, okay? So this is like the bare side. The good side is over here. But I felt like this was a better angle, so don't worry about all of that. I'm going to take some pictures and post it for y'all. With all that being said, I really hope y'all enjoyed this review. Go ahead and like the video. Press the subscribe button, okay? Go ahead and press that subscribe button. Leave your comments down below, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.